from Barnsley Metrodome. Our coverage on PDC TV, as always, features 2 boards and 4 commentators today. Dan McCarthy and Dan Dawson guiding you through the first action over on Stream 2 right now. But I'm delighted to say, for this mouth-watering opener between Josh Rock and Gary Anderson, joining me, Chris Murphy, is a winner of Players' Championship 3. Good afternoon, Glenn Durrant.
Thank you so much, and that's the motivation for these players today, because in 4 years' time they could be sat in this seat commentating on PDC TV. But very many happy memories of that day. I think I shared it on social media myself, and really excited to be here, and 2 of the best components, 2 of the best players right now in the world. I'm really looking forward to seeing your man in picture right now, Josh Rock.
Yeah, not a bad match to get first up, is it?
And the fact that Gary's practicing, I thought he was excellent at, at the Masters.
131.
Just come across an unbelievable Rob Cross, and when he's practicing, then the rest have to be frightened. 302. Josh Rock will start on the 18th.
98.
There. It's advantage Anderson very early in this first leg.
I was looking for treble 16 there to leave himself double 12.
48 left.
48 remaining. He'll go for an 8 or a 16.
50.
And for Rock at this point, all he can do is put some pressure on that tops. That's exactly what he's going to do. And what you're watching right now is the absolute elite of darts. You're going to see some breathtaking darts today at times. What a mouth-watering opener this is.
Game shot.
First leg to Gary Anderson. Completed in 13 darts as well. It's a danger, isn't it? I mean, you've been there when you've been a seeded player for these events. The likes of Gary Anderson floating around as non-seeds.
Yeah, there's a couple of floaters that you try to avoid. And what's even more dangerous about Gary is the fact he looks in the zone again. It didn't go so well last week. Quite a disappointing loss to Brendan Dolan and Stephen Bunting quite early in the competition, but I think you'd be seeing the positives. 103 average in one of his wins he had last week, but he just looks good. That throw looks beautiful, and when he's banging that treble 20, he's an absolute danger. He's one of the greatest of all time, and what an opportunity for Josh Rock to know exactly where his game is right now.
Suddenly seems to have the bit between his teeth again, Gary Anderson. So much so that actually on Monday here, he's staying an extra day to play in, believe it or not, a European Tour qualifier.
Yeah, but it's only a one-flight one. I bet it's Munich, is it? But it's great to see him there, and it's just great to, the fact that he's just got that enjoyment
119.
Clearly he's practicing with Ryan Serlem. What a dance partner that is. I think they'll enjoy the pace of each other. I think they like each other's company.
Yes, Searle, of course, who was one of the winners in the opening weekend of Players' Championship action here in Barnsley last week.
And the thing for Josh Rock this week, Chris, is the second-year syndrome. That last year, everybody was, and he dealt with everything. As Gary Anderson looks at tops here.
Game shot.
Doesn't he look good right now? Flying Scotchman is absolutely playing fantastic here, and Josh Rock, when he saw the draw this morning, will be thinking, that's not the floater I wanted. And right now Gary Anderson just seems to be in a great zone, a great place, and that all goes well for 2023.
Yeah, it's a good point that Glenn makes there about the potential of now living up to the hype 96. In the second year. And interestingly, Josh Rock was defeated in Players' Championship 1 last Saturday by Dylan Slevin, who many feel could be the Josh Rock of this year.
Yes, I've been very, very impressed with Dylan. I was actually watched that game last week, and I was watching, as many do, Dark Connect.
180.
This is a game. I mean, what an opening game for me as a commentator. I went all prima donna this morning and went, I'm nabbing this game because
43.
It's a game that I'll remember. And it's living up to them expectations.
180's exchange, 3 in the match now in 3 legs. 2 of them to Gary
55.
Anderson, who, although it's early in the game, is averaging well in excess of 100.
105.
And Rock might need this kind of finish just to get a leg on the board.
There's the start. Absolutely incredible effort there from Rock. And that bullseye is very interesting because we may see that bullseye come into the equation here. I think Gary will play safe. No histrionics and bull.
65.
And the difference between these elite players right now is just absolute millimetres. And these are the types of finishing that Josh Rock was putting away comfortably. And that's sacrilegious to miss the big number, meaning he's only going to get the one dart. That double four.
Game shot.
But that's all he needs. He'd be relieved with that dart. He'd be frustrated with that big 9 effort. And we felt that this match had all the ingredients to be a cracker. And it's absolutely delivering right now.
Yeah, Rocky off the mark in the match.
100.
We are going to see some quite tasty ties, none more so than this in the first round here on Stream 1. Following it, Cam Crabtree, of course, a winner on the Challenge Tour, filling up as a reserve player in this weekend's field, and he's going to take on the former World Master John O'Shea. Speaking of former World Masters, Christopher Teichke in action against the former World Champion Richie Burnett, and then Robbie Knops against Alan Suter, who once again impressed
55
at the World Championship.
Yeah, just looking at a couple of the results elsewhere. Very early in the game, but Joe Cullen's lightning quick start. You might
94.
need that, because this time last year he won not only Players Championships 3, but he won Players Championships 4 as well. So he'll be defending money this week,
45.
so he'll be looking for a good run. And already he's sped into a 3-0 lead against Sean Wilson, averaging over 112. But right now he's had a dart at bull for a 170.
135.
But this time very sensibly, very mature head, Chris, is Josh Rock. Got to know him last year as my pool pairs
100.
partner.
Double 16.
Game
He
shot.
chose to leave it. He backed himself to hit it, and he did hit it. Only one dart required, and this is a fantastic start to today's action. You would feel that both players playing the way that they are will think, if I carry on like this all day, I'm going to have a good run. But of course, one of them is going to fall at the first hurdle.
Yeah, there'll be nerves there. I don't. You know, Gary Anderson will be nervous with the first round, but the beauty of these Players Championships, once you get through that first round and get to your board finally, even the relaxation in your body is absolutely
55.
night and day from the first game. So it's just about getting through that first round game. And like I said, when these two drew each other, focus will have been really key. And
58.
both players will be delighted the way they've started.
Coming down to ensure he leaves some kind of finish.
98.
In that scenario, didn't have to really, Gary Anderson, with Josh Rock on 3-4-3, not going to leave a finish himself, and in the end he didn't leave a finish because he threw away with dart.
There's some absolutely barnstorming games. One that stood out for me was Damon Hector, Ross Smith, and after 3
58.
legs, Damon Hector is averaging over 118.
Yeah, Luke Humphries once again in 3 figures, 4-0 up already against Rusty Jake Rodriguez. I think we're seeing a reaction to that
99.
omission from the Premier League from Luke Humphries.
Yeah, I did chat with him afterwards as Anderson looks at 110. We're looking at treble 18.
86.
It's a lovely setup for 24. 24 reminds me of the year he won the Worlds. Insane he was on that double. Once again, Rock will just be looking for the single treble.
100.
So it does put some pressure on 24, but the way Gary's feeling right now, you've got to fancy him for this.
Game shot.
And fancy it, you do. This is a wonderful exhibition of darts from both players. Both players very much at the top of their game right now, feeling good, and that just makes you feel
59.
fantastic for the rest of the year.
Nothing between them. Anderson on a 98 average before this leg. Josh Rock just over 99.
140.
I'm obsessed with sort of body language and just the relaxation, and that is a different Gary Anderson, Chris, if you're asking me. It's just, I think he's loving darts again, and he's clearly made that conscious effort to get the practice in, and you know, you reap what you sow. If you put the hard graft in your practice, in your revision, come exam day, you're just going to feel really good. And right now, Gary Anderson's on it A+.
And it was probably going to go one of two ways for Gary Anderson this year. Maybe he had a decision to make whether he was going to go full focus, start trying to enjoy it, start trying to be as competitive as possible again, because he is almost inexplicably ranked 24th in the world.
28.
I mean, who would have thought we'd ever say that about Gary Anderson?
Yeah, maybe one of the reasons, you know, for the Euro Tour, etc. But I think he said it many times, the fact he stayed in the top 8, considering he didn't do the Euro Tours, and It just sort of tells you a little bit. I mean, he is one of the all-time greats, and to see him playing like this now, it's just
98.
really exciting for him and us as the public watching him.
Well, there's something new here. Josh Rock looking to show what he can do. Oh, clip the wire. Great attempt, but he has left it awkward. Anderson might just start to show his experience here and try and pile on the pressure.
18's a bit of a stinker.
92.
That treble 19 will make... he'll go direct for this double 9 now.
Game shot.
And you say it's a stinker, but there's just no fear for these young players now. It's just a different breed coming through, and that's a lot to do with the academies, a lot to do with the JDC, a lot to do with the development tour. So
95.
when they do reach the real elite of the game, he's playing without fear. He's enjoying every bit about what happened to him last year. He's been accountable.
137.
Not all eyes were on him. It didn't affect him. And I did have concerns about 2023 for him. But right now he looks as good as ever.
100.
He's like a Rolls Royce of a player.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about world rankings, he's only actually 13 places behind Gary Anderson in the world right now.
140.
And that's with 1 year on tour.
People ask, did you used to look at the rankings? Absolutely, especially when I was his age, and
87.
just ticking boxes to get to the top 32 of the game, the top 16 of the game. But this guy is going all the way.
We don't have the top 3 in the game in action this weekend. Michael Smith, Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen all opting out of a trip to Barnsley, having played in the Premier League in Glasgow on Thursday.
101.
Now this could be a moment for Josh Rock to make his move.
The types of finishers dart players love. It's only the one treble to leave the bullseye.
92.
That's a lovely final dart. The final dart from both of these players today has been absolutely exceptional. So 118 will be treble 20 to leave the fat 18 for tops.
98.
Oh, I think when he let go of that, he might have thought that was going all the way. And Josh Rock for his favoured 32.
Game shot.
What a game this is. Is it always this easy to commentate then, Chris?
You'll be tested at some point, but so far I'm sure all the viewers will agree that Glenn Durrant himself is passing the test, making it easy for me, that's 96. For sure.
Well, it's just so easy when you're watching darts like this. You know, two guys I got to know very well, like I said, with Josh Rocker. We just began to sort of socialise a little bit last year, and just I knew where I was going with my crease. I was just trying to get into the head of him, and you know, people like John O'Shea and Rab Bain and Scott
58.
Williams, them guys around him, Rob Cross, that's great because you need that team around you. And he's got good family base, and
140.
what a future if he just manages it and stays mature, and he's demonstrating the maturity. And what an exciting prospect for the the World Youth Champion of 2022. 80.
136.
Didn't know if he'd miscounted there. I thought he was going to stay on the 19s, but very sensible setup from Anderson. What a dart.
136.
This is beautiful to watch. I hope you're enjoying this at home as much as I am.
Well, having just been broken, Anderson wants the ball to break back.
102.
So 131. Looks like he's looking down, which a lot of the players are doing, because that would have left tops, which many of the players are doing. And that will leave a double
95.
18 for him. And these are the types of finishes, these 25s. We saw it in the first leg with Josh Rock. Big dart.
Game shot.
Oof, and it just deflected off that second dart. I can assure you he was aiming just below that. But what a beautiful, and I think this match deserves to go the distance, and it seems to have gone by in absolutely no time.
Yeah, I know we say it often
97.
in commentary, but never mind going the distance. I'd like them to add another few legs on as well.
Luke Humphrey's already through, and Jose de Souza. Great to see Jose. I know he's got his own battles right now, but what a talent. Jose de Souza. People talk about players as Josh Rock gets my excitement levels up a little bit.
137.
Just thought he could have switched after the first start. It was right on the bottom wire.
Right now they are seeing that treble 20 like a bucket.
180.
It's a beautiful feeling.
We're up to 6 maximums in the match now. 4 of them for Gary Anderson.
120.
So you look at the 16s route here.
136.
What a beautiful setup that is. 144 as the two trebles. So it's advantage Rock for another break back after 9 darts. He wants 48. So big target to 16 or 8. He'll play it nice and safely in right in the middle. Another big dart in this match for a 12 darter, a breaker throw. Huge moment.
Game shot.
Well, he slung it in from Sheffield. That Josh Rock had to step right across the hockey. Great dart to break the throw, and now he will throw to eliminate Anderson in round 1.
And the reaction there, just, you don't need a commentator or any words there. No disrespect to anyone, but he knew how big that dart was for many reasons. But
59.
When you then stand up with your 5-4-yard dart, you're just thinking, just give me a treble, 15 dart, and make Gary Anderson throw in 12.
100.
And that 59 can hurt a little bit. Now it's a 2 treble visit required.
Yeah, and this is Josh Rock leading this match against Gary Anderson, who's
59.
averaging himself 98. He's hit 4 180s. Yet
100.
might be facing a first round defeat.
Sorry, Murphy, if I'm getting too excited here, but I'm absolutely in heaven right now. This is fantastic. To be just so up close and personal, seeing players playing like this.
Yeah, and not to have to throw after. They are playing like that. That's 5 now for the 2-time world champion.
$134.
So you'll go 11 bull. For bullseye, what a dart again.
96.
And it just drifts once again in this 25. And 109 is the type of finish we like. Once again, so this time it's 1 treble, treble 19. He'll be disappointed with that.
93.
Well, Josh Rock got his breaker throw in the previous leg, but Anderson will have the chance to force a decider in which he would have the darts. But that is probably the worst dart he's thrown in the match.
And Josh Rock's just behind. All you're wanting to do is hear that dulcet tone of a number rather than game shot. And if you'd have took 88 at the beginning of this game, you just snapped your hands off for the match. Wow. Oh,
8.
Did not expect that. Some people might say maybe pressure, but them darts were thrown very, very well. They're just the difference at the elite is just sometimes the width of a wire.
Drama at the death. Anderson missing opportunities to stay in it. Rock missing opportunities to win it. But he has 3 more clear at double 4. Is that Gary Anderson's opportunity gone? It is.
Shot on the match.
Rock rules. The 2-time world champion Gary Anderson falls at the first hurdle after a very, very good game of darts. Josh Rock carrying on where he left off last year. A 6-4 success over the Flying Scotsman. Both players were flying in that one. Rock, though, wins it 6-4. There you see the stats. 5 180s from Gary Anderson, but the doubling percentage is what let him down. Josh Rock, 50% in that department in a game that just kept swinging one way, then the other, until Rock got the job done. He goes through to round 2, where he'll take on the winner of our next match here on Stream 1. It's Cam Crabtree against John O'Shea coming next.